We are now going to talk about just a little more on the history of public administration. And we're referring to these slides as sort of some golden oldies. In other words, some of the founders of the public administration concept and practice. And much of this is attributable to Woodrow Wilson. Before he became president of the United States, during the 1880s, he was president of Princeton University, and during that tenure, he developed various writings on public administration, including a book, and he developed this notion of the administration-politics dichotomy, that is, the administrative politics dichotomy, whereas administrators should carry out the essential duties of government, the daily operations, and politics should be separated and only conducted by elected representatives, either at the local, state, or federal level. Max Weber, you may have heard of, was basically a sociologist, a psychologist, a management theorist from Germany back in the 1800s, and he basically coined the term bureaucracy, which really means office of the bureau. And so this included the principle of fixed and official jurisdictional areas, an office hierarchy with levels of graded authority. Management was based on written documents, and specialized office through expert training. Other origins and development of the field, we have again the public administration dichotomy of Wilson, the ideal type of bureaucracy from Weber, and then we have this concept of comparative public administration, which was a move away from U.S.-centered PA, and it takes a more global look, if you will. From the 1960s to the early 1970s, we had what's referred to as new public administration, which really considered the obligations of public administration to society. It included activism in the raucous 1960s, concern with ethics, and more realistic solutions to problems. We have the postmodernist movement that kind of moved away from rationality as an answer, and that's sort of, again, an offshoot of postmodernism that believes that solutions and life and things that occurred are far more relative, and there doesn't always have to be rational responses to solving issues. New public administration, or new public management, I should say, essentially government should be decentralized. It included a great deal of contracting out services to the private sector. It was very popular, in particular in the latter 1980s through the 1990s. President Clinton and Vice President Gore basically touted these principles, largely from a book called Reinventing Government by Osborne and Gabler. But it was a little bit of a fad. We still practice some NPM today, but not to the extent as in the 1990s when it was very popular. Comparative methodology, if we're going to look at differences between public administration among different cultures, nations, etc., things that we need to use as a basis for comparison or a focus for comparison is bureaucracy. What are their bureaucratic structures like? How entrenched in bureaucracy are different governments? The organizational setting, and the overall ecology and evolution of administration.